according to a Government Accountability Office report released to the Washington Stand. The U.S. government directed nearly $2 billion in taxpayer money to Planned Parenthood and other abortion industry businesses over a 3-year period. A coalition of 145 members of Congress, led by Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, requested the GAO report, which also revealed that funding from COVID relief programs such as the Paycheck Protection Program and the American Rescue Plan was directed to abortion businesses. As polling consistently reveals that Americans oppose taxpayer funding of abortion both domestically and overseas, what measures can be taken to prevent this in the future? Joining me now to discuss this, Ben Johnson, senior reporter and editor at the Washington Stand. Ben, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good to be with you as always.
All right, we just got a couple of minutes here, but what did this report show us?
Well, it showed that actually this was, I was cautiously encouraged by what I read. We came in about $100 million less this 3-year period than the previous GAO report for the previous 3 years under Obama and Trump. That's thanks largely due to the pro-life policies enacted by the Trump administration, reinstating the Mexico City policy and the Protect Life rule especially. About 90% of Planned Parenthood's funding from the HHS comes through Title X, and the Protect Life rule said that Title X recipients can't carry out abortions in the same office where they're being funded for family planning. They have to be fiscally and physically separate. So this was kind of a Solomonic move. Not only did Planned Parenthood pull out of the program for more than a year, but also at the same time it exposed that Planned Parenthood really cares about abortion, not about health care.
So what about the Planned Parenthood, 38 Planned Parenthood affiliates received $90 million in funds from the Paycheck Protection Program. This was designed to keep small businesses open during the government-mandated lockdowns in 2020. Of course, we know in most states the abortion clinics were open. They weren't forced to shut down.
Well, that's right. And this was highly controversial because the CARES Act said that the PPP program was only supposed to be available to people who employ less than 500 employees. Planned Parenthood and its federation has more than 16,000 employees. So they counted each chapter separately. And the Biden administration, under its inspector general, allowed them to slide with that, despite encouragements from Marco Rubio and Representative Cynthia Tenney of New York to investigate this. There's also a bill from Debbie Lesko to return all of these funds. Of course, during this time, these funds, which were intended for small businesses, that meant that they did not always reach their intended recipients, small businesses, right. Mom and pop shops. There were an extra 200,000 businesses that closed down during COVID, obviously a great deal of business attrition during that time. Any one of those businesses would have been happy to have this money go to them instead of this billion-dollar abortion industry.
Very, very quickly, Ben, we're up against the end of the show, but can we expect Congress to do anything with this information?
They should do everything that they can to cut off all future funding of Planned Parenthood, if nothing else, to assure that the Hyde Act, the Hyde Amendment, applies equally to all federal funding.
All right, Ben Johnson, thanks so much for joining us.